So when we're shopping, and everyone shops online, of course, now pretty much all the time. At least we do some of our research online, and that's a great place to start, right? So first thing, of course, is that trying to figure out what it is exactly that what we're looking at, making sure that it fits the bill for us, et cetera. Lots of different places to go for this, of course. But as I said, online you can look through like Consumer Reports. It's great. It's a great source if you're looking at vehicles. Autotrader.com, and otherwise it's other. If you have personal contacts, people with experience. If you see someone, your neighbor has something that you like, or a family member has something that you like, ask them about it to get some intel on it, right? So after you kind of identify what you're looking for, if you will, start looking at alternatives. Ask yourself, can you delay the purchase, or do without the item at all, just forego it entirely, or if you can put it off for a while. And then decisions come down to how do I fund this? How do I pay for this? Should I pay for this with cash or credit? And which brands should I consider? When all else equal, remember ceteris paribus, it's an economics term, all else equal. So which brand should I consider? Does it matter? Are there lots of different substitutes where I could, once I narrow things down quality wise, I can focus on the price. Anyhow, there's a lot of different comparison shoppings out there, and again, plenty of websites in order to go, but don't forget the good old shoe leather routine, meaning go out there and take a look around, physically take a look to see what some of these products are. So in this case, again, we're looking at a used car, just checking out a used car, and these are all things to kind of look at, even if you're a novice at this, you're not all that familiar with vehicles. Okay, these are pretty straightforward. Look at the outside, look for dents, any signs of accidents, making sure that the paint is the same color all the way around. And what I mean by that is there might be a little bit off, different color on the paint. May I take note of these things? Take a look in the trunk and look at the spare tire. Make sure that there is a spare tire. Check on the tread wear of the tires. See if they're wearing. If they're worn out first, but also if they're wearing smoothly, evenly across the face of the tire itself, right? And you can always do the old check of the springs or shocks or on the vehicle by pushing down on the rear of the car and making sure that it pops up pretty quickly and it doesn't bounce up and down quite a bit. Because if that's the case, you need new shocks. Similar with the front of the vehicle, same idea. Making sure everything works, the doors and windows are in operating order, and look under the vehicle to see if there have been any leaks, leaking the oil or other fluids, right? Inside the car, look for wear on the pedal. This is something that's it's kind of important. I've encountered this myself where I was looking to buy a used car with relatively low miles on it, and I saw that the brake pedal was pretty much worn out. And that would definitely indicate that the car had more miles on it than the seller was actually telling me, right? Anyway, make sure everything works on the dashboard, and start the engine, and check the all the different things that you would check, of course, and then of course look at the engine itself, make sure it's clean, no leaking fluids, etc. Take it out for a test drive. Let the car warm up a little bit, test drive it, and check the brakes, etc. at different speeds. And with all else, it's worthwhile to do it too, is to bring it to a mechanic, someone that you actually trust on the vehicle, to take a look at the vehicle and to evaluate it for you. So that was for used car. Lease car, very similar to buying a new car, of course, right? When you're leasing a vehicle. So the idea, again, when you're leasing a vehicle, you're renting the vehicle. You're not buying the vehicle, you're buying miles on the vehicle, really is what it comes down to. There are several advantages to it. Lower payments than actually buying, of course. The security deposit would be smaller than the down payment necessarily, or for the most part. The agreement, lease agreement, it provides business records, etc. Usually, it's obtained. You're able to buy a little nicer vehicle than otherwise would be the case. So if you're in the market for a vehicle with I don't know, $400 a month payment, you could probably buy a nicer vehicle than if you were actually looking to purchase that vehicle. Meaning, that again, there's less out of pocket for you. There are extra miles. If you put extra miles in the vehicle, go beyond the limit the prescribed limit, then you're on the hook for paying penalty for that as well. So when you determine the purchasing price of a vehicle, you never walk into a dealership, a new car dealership, a used car dealership, and tell them that you're looking for a $400 a month car payment or whatever. Look at the vehicle that you want. In other words, what you want to make sure you do is before you go in, you want to have an idea of what type of vehicle that you want to get. If you don't have any idea, then don't go in there looking to purchase a vehicle. That's when you're doing your pre-shopping, so to speak. Okay, you're looking around and checking things out, and you're not going to buy a vehicle, just walking into the car lot, right? Especially, since this is a very pricey alternative. So there are a lot of places that you can do your research: Kelley Blue Book, Edmunds, different used car pricing, the websites that are out there. New cars, you pretty much have like the MSRP on the side of the vehicle. That's the starting point. Remember, for the most part, it's the starting point for going down. Keep that in mind. During odd times like during COVID, that was actually the starting point for going up, but we're not going to go there anymore either, right? So look at the various financing alternatives that you would have at your disposal before you walk in the door. And if you are going to purchase a vehicle, highly recommend getting pre-approved with your financial institution, credit union, bank, what have you, so that you have an idea of what the interest rates that you can get. That can be negotiated at the dealership. They may give you a lower rate. That's fine, but at least you know what the rate is when you walk in the door. That's the highest rate that you will be paying if you get that pre-approval. So remember, always keep in mind that APR. That's the true cost of credit. That includes all the fees, etc. And they do have to state that when you do purchase a vehicle. So when they talk about an upside down vehicle, same thing as a house. You bought a vehicle for a certain amount and you finance it, and you drive off the lot, and there's automatically there's some depreciation. The vehicle loses some initial some of its value, and you may end up owing more on the vehicle than the vehicle is actually worth. That tends to even out over time as you continue to buy down that loan. So these are just things to kind of keep in mind going forward, right? So after you purchase a vehicle, there's of course lemon laws that are out there, and this is something if you get a real stinker of a vehicle, it happens. I've had my share where they were mistakes, part my own. I should have done a bit more research beforehand, but you never know until you actually purchase a vehicle what you're going to get. So there are lemon laws out there, meaning that there are options so far as if you really, really run into some difficulties with the vehicle. So the biggest cost we break out the cost for ownership. It's the fixed cost, is the depreciation, how much that the value of the vehicle goes down, in addition to the monthly payments, of course, if you're financing the vehicle. The variable operating costs, there are websites out there where they give you the all-in cost of a vehicle. It's very interesting. So the variable operating costs would include vehicle maintenance and servicing, and so on and so forth. So there are a lot of kind of neat programs out there, apps out there, applications out there where you can track a lot of these things. So The research-based approach to purchasing a vehicle, just the same as it is with everything else, it's a circle. Pre-shopping activities, the problem identification, information gathering, looking for, trying to find the vehicle that you think might be suitable for you, and then trying to figure out what the issues with that vehicle may well be, right? Whether we're talking about a new vehicle, a used vehicle, or if you're buying a new vehicle, whether it's purchase or if you're leasing the vehicle, look at all these different alternatives that you would have out there, for making that purchase of the vehicle. You may opt to get a used vehicle with low miles on it, hopefully. Or you may opt to lease a vehicle. It might make some sense. So all these things have to be kind of brought into consideration. It's all part of that opportunity cost, right? Making choices, right? So you determine the price of the purchase price, and that, of course, is through that negotiation process. And the way you do that is to find out as much as you can about the vehicle up front, and then when you actually see the vehicle, that's the starting point for the negotiation face-to-face with the dealer, whether we're talking about a new car or a used car. And then there are always the financing alternatives. Before you walk in the door, you really should get a pre-approval so far as your credit is concerned. So that will be the maximum price that you will pay for an interest rate. That if you have something set up before you walk in the door, you can always negotiate down, but at least you have a baseline from which to start, right? Post-purchase activity, make sure that you do maintain your vehicle. That's a very important asset to you, correct? Especially if you're buying a vehicle over time, you want to make sure that you keep up on the maintenance regardless, because that's going to be your primary form of conveyance for the most part, right? Anyway, all these things to consider, some kind of neat things with that vehicle purchase. It's a very exciting time.